Okay, so here's how you replace a string on a violin, a viola, or a cello. Fortunately, the process is exactly the same for all of them. So, a lot of the time, strings will break near the area of the peg box because maybe the little notches that hold the string are too sharp, or maybe the string was put on wrong. And of course, I'll show you the right way to put it on this video. So let's get started by removing the old string. Most of the time, since it breaks on the other side, the string will still be on this little notch on the tailpiece. So, just pull it out. Then also check if the screw that functions as a fine tuner has most of the thread in the tailpiece, and start to reset it so that you can have plenty of slack to be able to fine tune it when the string is back on. Then we're going to remove whatever's left on the string on the peg by loosening the peg and just pulling. Most of the time this is easy, but if it's not, you can always get a thin and hard object like a paper clip, and just unfold it. You can pull it out. Just be careful not to scratch the peg box, especially if it's a nice violin. And usually the remaining piece of string just comes out like that. Then we're going to unwind the new string. New strings usually come wrapped up like this. All you have to do is just pass it around its own axis and it frees up pretty easily. If you have a student model violin, and most student violins come with a tailpiece that has these fine tuners, or maybe you have removable fine tuners on your tailpiece. Either way, don't attach the string on the fine tuners first. Start on the peg. So get the string on the peg first, and what I'm gonna do is pass it through this little hole, and don't go much further than this. You don't want to pass through the peg that much further because it'll make it really hard to wind the string around the peg. So that's all you need. Then you start turning the peg. Now this step is really important. This will ensure that your string will not break in the future once you apply tension to it. First, you're going to wind the string on the side opposite from the peg. Okay, so I'm pulling it to the right because the peg is to the left. So you're going to wind it past the tip of the string sticking out. Once I pass that tip, then I'm going to correct it and pass it over to the left side. You see, now this allows for the string to create some friction against the part of the string that's already coming out of this little hole. So this secures the string and locks it onto position a little easier. So now that you have crossed it to the left side, then you can continue winding it. Remember, now the string has to be on the left side of that little tip of the string sticking out. Okay, so you keep on wrapping it, and then check if the length of the string is close enough to the prong on the tailpiece where it's going to be assembled. In this case, looks like it is. It doesn't have that much slack, so it didn't really take that much turning. Make sure to always hold the string in place somewhere while you do this. Otherwise, your string will just unwind and you're going to have to do this again. So now I'm going to place it on the prong of that same string. Keep some tension on it. Okay, the next step is you just start winding the peg, making sure that the string is wrapping on the correct side. This would be the left side for a left peg. This allows the string to wrap cleanly without wrapping over itself. If it wraps over itself, once you add tension to the string, it'll cut itself. And that's usually what causes a string breakage. So you keep turning until you feel that you don't need to apply any more tension to the string and that it can hold itself on top of the bridge. Then you make sure that the string is in the correct spot, right above the notch of the bridge where it belongs. They're usually marked with pencil. This allows the string to run smoothly over the bridge. And now, if you watch my other video where I explain how to adjust the pegs safely without breaking a string, you will remember that you need to grasp one side of the peg box with one hand, and that you need to grasp the peg firmly and push in as you turn, and only turn by small increments. So now we are ready to tune the string. All you gotta do is tune it, and you'll be ready to play. There isn't really that much to it, but you have to remember these few important steps to make sure that your string doesn't break and that you can continue making music. Remember to follow the steps that I described on my previous video on how to tune a violin with a phone app, so that you can finish setting up your violin and your string so that it is in playable condition. And that's all there is to it. Do the same for a viola or a cello. They are exactly the same system. They have the same properties. The only difference is the notes that you're going to be tuning the strings to. And of course the size of the instrument. Thanks again for watching. I hope that was helpful. If you're new to the channel, please share this video with someone that you think that might benefit from this information, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified each time that there's a new video. I am Hector Rivera from the Strings Learning channel. I'll see you on my next video.